You may say that this falls into the great academic tradition of knowing more and more about less and less until we know everything about nothing. But I hope to convince you that by observing these baby steps into the I knew I shouldn't have had that champagne.
In Still Alice, an accomplished linguistics professor is literally at a loss for words when she's diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. Julianne Moore plays the title character Alice, who along with her family struggles to hold on to who she once was. Moore, who was just nominated for an Oscar, spoke about her Golden Globe winning performance.
Well, I actually haven't had anyone in my family affected by the disease, and I've never known anyone closely. So for me, it was brand new. So I had a huge responsibility to learn about it and try to depict it as honestly and as realistically as possible.
You know, it's interesting. This is a film, I think, that it really takes a great actor to pull this off.
Exactly.
You know? And it's very similar to a 1985 movie called Do You Remember Love?
Yes.
With Joanne Woodard. She won an Emmy for it.
And
she was an English professor. But what I think really part of what makes this film work is Richard Glazer, who with Wash Westmoreland as a director, is suffering from ALS. So I think that he has a real good, deep understanding of what it is to lose the things that you take for granted. And I think Julianne Moore really brought that
She showed that, just the gradual emptying out of the character. And this is somebody who is like, I think, therefore I am. You know, that's sort of her life. I hope she wins the Best Actress Academy Award for this performance.
I think she will.
I think it's just one of the best things that she's ever done. Kristen Stewart, I have not really been a hardcore Kristen Stewart fan.
Best work she's ever done, in my opinion.
She's wonderful as the rebellious.
I think you felt the same way, Brittany.
Well, yeah, I feel that this film itself should actually win an Oscar. I think the film was wonderful. It's the type of film that can touch an audience. Everyone can relate to it. This Alzheimer's has been around for years. So it's definitely something that we're all aware about. And just actually watching her scene after scene go through the stages of this disease, it was just really heartwarming.
We tend to think of it as an old people disease, but it's not. Like Hollywood legend Rita Hayworth was about the same age that the character Alice is when she started to show symptoms.
Wow.
Well, you know, the other thing about this film is that this is a film in this portrayal where she could have gone very melodramatic. But what she really does, she goes the reverse, where she kind of reverts to kind of the core of who she is. There's a childlike quality to her, where she doesn't know completely and doesn't remember everything that she should. And you, as the audience, know what she should be. So, and it really works.
It's so simple. It's so honest.
It is, and it also I think one of the things about this film for me was just realizing how lucky this person was to have all these people around her who love her, because it was an opportunity for them to actually become closer as a family, where it didn't have to go that way. And that kind of brings us to our next film, because our next film is called Still Life. And we meet John May, a man who makes a living caring for the dead who have no family, until his job is taken away. His last undertaking, basically, is it brings him to the abandoned daughter of his deceased neighbor, and their bond opens him up a bit to a world of unimagined possibilities. Golden Globe winner Joanne Froggatt from Downton Abbey co-stars.
Mr. White, our last case, William Stoke.
Row 2, tray 8. 40 days rotting, I believe.
40? Well, he won't have to wait any longer. If you can get him ready, please. I have some sad news.
You know, I thought that this is a film that the pacing, the cinematography, the almost the lack of music even, really worked to create this still life that this man has. And it's an interesting job, someone who has to look for the next of kin.
It matches the characters.
Yes,
some of the viewers may see that guy's face and think, where do I know it? He's on the TV series Ray Donovan. He was in the movie Happy Go Lucky as an opposite, a very violent character. He gives such a beautiful performance in this, and you really have to stay with it. A poignant ending. You had me crying at the end.
The ending is the best part.
I must say, I thought the film was very dry and boring in the beginning. And then watching the ending, that is the reason why.
Don't give it away.
people
all
need
work.
to watch
Made it all
this
work.
film.
I agree with you. I think that again, Eddie Marsan gives such a great mannered, reserved,
Yes.
restrained performance. But it does make you think about the fact that all these people who essentially die alone, because he's a man, like you see him in the beginning of the film, and he's reaching out to people, and he's like, well, hello, sir, yes, it's your father, and no, you're not obligated to come to the funeral. And he actually throws funerals for these people, and he's the only one there.
And he's living alone himself. He's
Yes.
got no one in his life.
Yes.
Exactly.
Which is part of how the movie turns
Yes.
Yeah.
in towards the
We're
end.
not
of the
going to
film.
tell the ending, though.
I'm not going to give the ending, but I have to say this is a film I would recommend highly.
I will definitely recommend it.
Highly recommend this.
But it
Highly
is dry in the beginning. Warning.
Okay.
But aren't we
so
all?
we both recommend Still Alice, and we recommend Still Life.
Yes, we
Yes.
do.
So there it is.
Agreed.
And we're still here.
And we'll be back.
When we return,
If the word gets out that an artificial is out there on the streets.
Understood.
Bruce Willis creates a world of androids where fantasies come true. But reality strikes when one escapes in the new sci-fi thriller, Vice. Next, here on Arise on Screen.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. There's a special breed of achievers out there that are called tomorrow's people, the highly creative ones who live in the future. They imagine what will be and strive to make it happen. They're bold. They refuse to wait for the future. Tomorrow bends and conforms to their ideas. At Access Bank, we share the same sentiments. We've been able to grow our bank to become a leading player in Nigeria with a strong presence across the continent, adopting best practice in everything we do. Our mantra for success is simple: speed, service, and security. Those who shape tomorrow, strive for, and demand perfection. At Access Bank, our service culture of speedy response and drive for excellence is the blueprint for creating customer experiences that will echo for generations. Come, let's work together and take tomorrow.
My old correspondence with Donahue is here, but there's no way that login is still active.
I'm not gonna use that login. Okay, Donahue, the NSA contact you was talking
If NSA discovers the intrusion, you sure you want to do this?
FBI can't explain after the fact?
You locate this guy, you're okay. You get discovered, you're dead meat.
To catch a criminal, you need a criminal. And in director Michael Mann's latest action thriller, Blackhat, Chris Hemsworth is just the man for the job. Hemsworth plays convicted hacker Nicholas Hathaway, freed to help track down a cyber terrorist who threatens to leave the world in financial ruin. Welcome back to Arise on Screen. I'm still here with Brittany McCarthy and Bobby Rivers.
Hey.
So I have to say, this is a film, I didn't go in with any huge high hopes because it's coming out in January, and I wondered why. But I was very underwhelmed with this film. I don't really buy Chris Hemsworth as a hacker, really. You know, I haven't met any hackers that look like that. And I have to say, so many great actors, Viola Davis,
Ortiz.
A-list.
A-list actors, somewhat wasted. I felt that this was a B movie.
A-list actors in a B movie. And Hemsworth, his shirt buttons were more challenged than his acting talent is.
Okay.
You know, and it was just like that. And I thought, for a hacker movie, don't take me into a computer one more time.
Please, no. I could understand it at all. As far as the whole hacker, when he started doing all the numbers and all the digital, my whole brain was like, I don't understand. I'm not that smart. I don't know what was going on.
You know what was going on was some B-movie nonsense. That's what was going on. And the first act, I have to say, I just sat there going, wait, what? There was just so many. It was, instead of a hacker movie, it was a hackneyed movie. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Michael Mann still has his mojo?
I have to say, looking at this, I felt like he'd lost his mojo. I mean, I think that this film must have looked good on paper.
Right.
Hey, it's current, it's today, you know, Sony hacking, da-da-da-da, you know, they were right on the edge. But ultimately, how exciting is it to watch people typing on a computer?
Exactly.
And to have a camera, zipping through, like you said, Thor meets...
yeah, it's like Thor meets Tron.
And I was so underwhelmed and disappointed. I think Chris Hemsworth is decent, and I think over time, he'll become a good actor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right
definitely.
now, he's
a little more
okay. He's
experienced.
serviceable. But that's about it.
Serviceable. Good word.
Now, speaking of actors who, well, let's just say our final film, Bruce Willis is back in a sci-fi thriller called Vice. He plays Julian Michael, whose futuristic resort allows customers to play out their wildest fantasies with androids who look, think, and feel like humans. But one of the artificials escapes, and Willis must fight to keep his fantasy world from destruction.
A utopian paradise where you can have or do anything you want.
That resort keeps this city going. You had to go in there and cause a big scene.
You killed a girl in my world. Now you get to play with me. You would think that if people could commit any crime they could think of, they could get it out of their system. These people get a taste, and they just can't get enough.
There's not real people in there.
Can anybody say Westworld?
Exactly.
Okay, now I have to
Exactly.
ask, what I don't understand about this movie, besides the fact that it's not good, and besides the fact that they got Bruce Willis, okay, is why did they make this movie when they're doing a remake of Westworld anyway?
I don't know. I don't. You know what? I don't know. There is a lot of crime in Vice, and the biggest crime is that this movie got made. Please.
I just want to tell you how I feel about the movie.
Please, please.
What did they say? Bobby, you can help me out. Men on movies, what did they say?
Hated it.
Okay.
I hated the film.
You hated the film.
I hate the
You
film.
hated the film. And Bruce
There was
Willis-
no need for this film.
That's what I felt. I felt there's no need, and I have to say Thomas Jane. Now, I know you all like him, okay? I think he's like a cipher. He just registered nothing. He looks like Christopher Lambert.
He did, from the 80s.
From the 80s. I wish he had a French accent. It would have been a little more
But
interesting.
he did good in this film, though.
Yeah,
I must
he looks
say.
good, but come on.
I liked him in the film. The film sucked. But
You liked him in the film,
yeah,
but the film sucked.
The film sucked.
Is that
But
your
he was
quote?
good.
Good is a
I think he
relative
carried
term. Okay,
the
I've
story.
seen Michael Caine do films where he seems like he's in another movie because he's so good. But this movie, to me, it did seem low budget.
Right.
It did seem
really
like they were
did.
just,
Needed more funding.
Bruce Willis did a movie similar to this recently called Surrogates,
Right.
where it's the one where everybody's kind of asleep in their apartment and then they send their robots out to do their bidding, these androids. And this was just lame. And I really wanted it to be good because I'm a sci-fi head, as you know.
Right.
And I expected, I said, okay, they're going to take Westworld.
And
maybe
you
they're
must
gonna-
love
They're going to do
Westworld.
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Westworld's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's better than Future World, but Future World is better than this one, okay? That's all I got to say. So
I'm not into it.
this movie, if you want to see it, it's definitely a Saturday afternoon B movie. You could be washing dishes, doing the laundry while you do it.
If you can see it for free, I'll
Even
take
better.
it.
Even better. So there it is. That's what
There
I'm
it
saying.
is.
I really enjoyed having you both on.
Thank you.
Love being here.
I had a
Love
great
meeting
time.
and being with you, Brittany. Brittany!
Calm down now. I got to say goodbye to everybody. Well, thank you both for joining me. Thank you at home for watching. I'm Mike Sargent. We'll be back next week to talk more movies here on Arise on Screen.